everybody. Welcome back to the B Channel podcast, where my objective is to bless, edify, and encourage others to live their best lives. Today's episode is going to be a very personal one, near and dear to my heart. What being a caregiver has taught me. Over the last several years, I have been a caregiver to my father. It has taught me so many things. However, 5 things stand out in my mind that apply to every aspect of life. Those things are patience, obedience, gratitude, discipline, and commitment. I really believe that the saying is true about praying to be more of something. God is a gracious teacher and provides you with an experience so you can learn to be more of that trait. Now, in my wildest imagination, I could never have conceived I would learn these lessons in this way, nor would I prefer to learn them this way. But God knows what we need. He knows that the pain will stretch us. He knows stretching leads to success. I learned patience when I realized that there is no such thing as a plan when it comes to caregiving. You must truly learn to roll with the punches and be readily adaptable. In Romans 12:16, Amplified Classic, Paul shares this truth. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be haughty, snobbish, high-minded, exclusive, but readily adjust yourself to people, things, and give yourselves to humble tasks. Never overestimate yourself or be wise in your own conceits. Now, if that is not sobering and humbling, I do not know what is. I just love that translation. There is no room for misunderstanding. Obedience was a harder pill to swallow. This, however, is a commandment from God, and the first with a promise. Paul reminds us of this in Ephesians 6:1-3 NIV. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with a promise, so that it may go well with you and that you may enjoy long life on the earth. Personally speaking, I want things to go well and I want to enjoy long life on the earth. So this is a no-brainer, right? Well, it is definitely easily said and done sometimes. As a caregiver, sometimes you get tired and want to throw a temper tantrum and have an adult time out. It is rough, but I have to admit that I feel better when I obey my parents and honor them. I have more peace. Plus, I love my parents and do not take their presence for granted in this cruel and cold world. I feel as though they parented me. The least I can do is be there for them until God calls them home. Being grateful is definitely a practice that you have to engage in regularly. Having a sick loved one can drain the life out of you sometimes, and you have to remember there is always something to have gratitude for. For example, most days, my father does not say much, but on the rare days he says my name, you would think I won the lottery. It really does make my day. Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. 1 Thessalonians 5:18 NIV. Discipline is something that you practice. You do not learn it overnight, nor do you like it. It is not always fun, but without it, you do yourself more harm than good. Hebrews 12:11 states, no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. As Hebrews 12:11 NIV states, there is a harvest when we are disciplined. We harvest righteousness and peace. These are attributes of God. We discipline ourselves and become more and more like Him as time goes on. Last but not least, I learned commitment. Now, we often view commitment as a character trait we need for work or for a romantic relationship. However, it goes far beyond those 2 aspects of life. You make a choice every day as a believer to commit to God, to yourself, and to your family. Commitment means that you are reliable and dependable, you don't give up, and you don't turn your back on your responsibilities. It matters to you that you show up. You love God, yourself, and your family enough to stay the course. One of my favorite verses when it comes to this topic is Galatians 6:9 in LT. So let's not get tired of doing what is good at just the right time. We will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. I love this verse because it reminds me to keep doing the right thing and I will be blessed. Now, the goal is not the blessing, but pleasing God. At the end of the day, I feel blessed. This experience of caregiving has not been easy, but it has been enlightening and has shown me the true meaning of family and teamwork. Things are not like they used to be, but one thing remains the same. I love my mother and father, and my goal every day is to try my best to show them that through my actions. After all, they gave me life. That is the least I can do. Now, I want to thank you if you made it to the end of this podcast. Thank you so much for listening to my heart and my life experience. Thank you. I really appreciate you listening. You can find me on my other social medias on the link in the description of this podcast. You can also listen to this podcast on Amazon Music, Apple, Anchor, and Spotify. Right now, those are the places where it is being broadcast. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you tune in to the next one. I hope that this blessed you. Thank you so much. Peace and blessings. Until next time.